The big question is, are you a person living your life in the world, or are you a spiritual being living your life from the self, a pure being? Have you made that distinction yet? Are you making that distinction? Are you even capable of making that distinction? Just who and what are you and me? Our teaching is the awakening to the true nature of the being that we are and abiding in the true nature of the being that we are, which is peace, freedom, and joy from all the suffering of this world. The realization that it's not necessary to suffer. To simply abide in the true nature of the being that we are is freedom from suffering. So that means if a person has not made that realization for himself, herself, and is looking for a way and means of making that realization, having that awakening to the true nature of being, chances are he or she is looking outside for some sign, some indication, some way, or some means to attain it. Or perhaps he or she is looking inside, but doesn't seem to know how to establish consciousness to some reference point within in order to maintain a steadiness, you see, of one's spiritual quest. To be able to follow, for example, the words of Jesus, that the kingdom of God is within you. Certainly Jesus said, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything else will be added unto you. And when asked by some of his devotees or followers, well, where is this kingdom of God that you're speaking? Jesus said, quit looking for signs outside of yourself. It's not to be found anywhere outside of yourself. For behold, the kingdom of God, where's the rest of it? What's the rest of it? The kingdom of God is within you. Now, whether you're a follower of Jesus or not, or whoever if you're a follower of, look to see, where are you looking for peace, freedom, and joy? Are you going to find it in the world? Can it be found in the world? Is there true and lasting peace in the world? Has there ever been? Is there actual freedom and joy in the world and from the world that is dependable, that can stay with you for any significant period of time? Is there? I'm asking, is there?
No.
Well, it's not to be found in the world, is it? So Jesus was correct whether we're followers of Jesus or not. He was a great being. I'd say an awakened one. Christians say he's the Son of God. They even go so far, unfortunately, to say he's the only one who's the Son of God. That's kind of ludicrous, isn't it? He certainly, maybe during that time or some period of time, seemed to have been the only one who had awakened and realized his sonship or his oneness with the source of being, God being the source of being, very simply. But we're all that. There's not any of us who are not that. So the uniqueness of Jesus was not that he was the Son of God. The uniqueness of Jesus was that he was awake to the awareness of his own being as not being any different than the awareness that is the sourcing awareness that is God. Well, Moses had that same realization. That's recorded in Exodus in the Bible. Anyone that's students of Bible, 3:14, I am that I am. I realize that many Christians and Jews want to interpret that as some bush that was speaking to Moses, some voice speaking out of the bush. Has anyone here ever seen bushes speak? These are all metaphors. Moses' realization was, my God, this awareness in me, is not different. It's not other than the awareness that is all awareness, God's awareness. That was nothing more than Moses' enlightenment that occurred as recorded in Exodus in the Bible. And Jesus' own realization is not any different. I and that, I am the Father, I am the source. This I am and the source are one, not two. Not two. Advaita in the Vedanta system. And they were not the only two who had that awakening. Bhagavan's had that awakening, and many have had that awakening. By the grace of Bhagavan, the one speaking has had that awakening. Now, in having that awakening, we're here to avail people of that same awakening in a mechanismal way. A mechanism meaning it is possible that you can align your own awareness of being with the true sourcing awareness of being that ever dwells within us all. You can align your awareness with that awareness that dwells within us all, and if you align yourself with it correctly, which is what Jesus meant when he said, and his righteousness, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. That means right alignment, correct and perfect alignment with the awareness that we all are. That right alignment of our own seeming personal awareness with the universal awareness that dwells within us as us really, will awaken within us the truth that we are this universal awareness. We're not even the personal awareness that we've been thinking that we are. And when we awaken to the truth that we're not this personal awareness that we've been thinking that we are, and live in and as and from the awareness that we are, that's freedom. That's peace. That's joy. That is the end of suffering. Now, is there anyone here that would like to be free of suffering? Well, then turn yourself in. Let go of all this that you've been thinking you are. Be willing to merge it and melt it and dissolve it in the source, in awareness that you really are. That means give up everything. Are you ready to give up everything? I don't know about that. There's a lot about me I like. Along with that I don't like. I'd like to keep that which I like and give up that I don't like. Do you think that's the way it works? How do you know the difference between that which you like and that being in alignment with his righteousness? Maybe it's just your concepts of that which you like that you want to keep. It might be the very that which must be in alignment with his righteousness means to be dissolved into his righteousness. Or are you ready to turn it over to him and let him live your life? Him meaning the sourcing essence. No, I'm not ready for that. I don't know that he's wise enough to live my life for me. So you see, when we really got right down to it, we can all live in the awareness of being as the awareness of being and allow the pure awareness of being live our life and be in charge of our life if we're ready to surrender our life to the universal awareness and let the universal awareness absolutely live our life. But the question is, are we ready for that? Is that what I would like to do? I kind of like the way I've been living my life, except, I have some dislikes. I just like to get rid of my dislikes. So I like to come here to Aham and find out how to get rid of my dislikes so I can keep my likes and continue to hold on to that sense of awareness that I think I am with my likes, which really is just my ego. I want to keep my ego alive and doing well, which is nothing more than the sense of I itself. What is ego? Isn't ego the sense of I? So I want to keep my sense of I, This meditation of a separate self-identity that I'm engaged in and that I see everyone else apparently engaged in. This mantra. Does anyone know the mantra? I, me, my, mine, I, me, my, mine, I, me, my, mine, I, me, my, mine. The mantra. So I want to keep going with this mantra, I, me, my, mine. I don't want to give it up, but I'd like for it to always have its own way. Now, is that a spiritual life or is that a worldly life? In Aham, we are here to serve people who are ready to live a spiritual life. If you're not ready to live a spiritual life, there's no judgment. That's your choice. You can live a worldly life if you wish to. Our purpose is to serve people who are choosing to live a spiritual life. A spiritual life means turn your attention into the source itself and keep it ever turned in that direction, dissolving the sense of I, letting it melt into the universal awareness, the pure I am that I am. And it's your own I am that is, not mine. I don't have one anyway. I turn mine in. Are you ready to turn yours in? That's the big question. See? I learned a long time ago that life in the world, when lived from the bases of the world, is kind of the pits. So I found out that it was my I that was doing it. My God, this I is the source of suffering. This personal sense of I. This mantra, I, me, my, mine. And keeping it alive and defending it. So I learned that. And so I says, where did I get this I? I discovered that I got it actually from the source. And the source is within me. So I took it back to where I got it within me and I turned it into myself and says, here, you take it. I don't want the damn thing. Are you willing to do that for yourself? Are you really willing to do that for yourself? It has to be absolute. It can't be relative. In order to live in the pure awareness of being, you have to live absolutely in the true pure awareness of being, not relatively in the pure awareness of being. You have to dissolve the relative sense of I into the universal awareness that is the pure I am. It's very basic, it's very simple, it's very direct, and it's very immediate when you're really ready. But you see, by and large, no judgment. Most people just say that. It's just kind of a gesture. It's just spiritual life in words. And there's a lot of people who are involved in spiritual life and words, and they come here and they don't necessarily like the way I present it or the way it's presented here, where it's requiring a total surrender. Not to me. There's no me here for you to surrender to. But to surrender to your own being, which we will be a friend and be with you and see if you've really made that surrender. It's pretty easy to see when someone's made the surrender. You all understand that here we share the teaching of Bhagavan Ramana. We are here. Our purpose is the preservation and the dissemination of the pure teaching of Bhagavan Ramana, for he is the sage that has come to share the way and the means of reawakening, or awakening. Reawakening, really. We say awakening, but it's really reawakening, because we already are. We already are that which we say we're awakening to. We're not awakening to something new. What we're looking for is not something new. We're looking for that which has always been. It's eternal. It's infinite. It's eternal. The self we actually are was not born, and it will never die. The self we think we are, the body-mind, it was born, and it will die. And if we do not awaken to the self we are before we drop this body-mind, I got news for you. We've got to do it again. We invite you here, and we will invite people here who are looking for the truth and are ready to find it in this lifetime. Be here now and be happy. Namaste.
Namaste.